Season 2 of You Are the Magic, activating right now. Here we are, my Magic Maker friends, for Season 2 of the You Are the Magic podcast. And this season, all season long, we are going to be exploring the earth element. So it may be Season 2 of You Are the Magic, but it's the first season in 2024. And what I've decided for the whole year, we're going to be following the elements, starting with earth, then moving to air, fire, and then water. And we begin here in earth. And this earth exploration, it's happening in You Are the Magic. It's happening in the Big Life Magic Makers, our virtual magic community. And it's going to be a part of what I'm teaching in my mastery, what I'm speaking about, what I'm writing about. So settle in, get grounded, because the earth season is now active. Episode 1. Today I'm going to be sharing with you one of the most, if not maybe absolutely probably one of the most important earthbound earth lessons I learnt, which informs how I teach. It informs my own spiritual practice. And it's a lesson I want all of us to have as a foundation for our earth season together. So earth, how do you know earth? Like earth is literally that ground underneath your feet. It's Mother Earth. We're all connected to it. But also the earth element is the element that's connected to your physical body. It's the element that's connected to the new moon phase in our lunar cycle. And it's the element that gives us that foundation, security, connection to the material world, our sense of health and wealth. There is so much in earth that supports us. And we are earthbound. We're spiritual beings having this earthbound experience. Earth is so important to our spiritual practice. And it's in the now. You are born now. So let's take us now to this lesson that I learned more than 10 years ago. So peel back to the time in my life where my world, my earth, completely shifted. More than 10 years ago, my beautiful son, Sage, unexpectedly died 1 month before his 11th birthday, and I shifted from a single mother to a grieving mother. My whole earthbound experience changed. Sage went back up to spirit, and I stayed here. Now, I had a lot of feelings about that. I was, before Sage's death, deeply connected to my spiritual practice. I was somebody who already was tuned into, I'm a spiritual being having an earthbound experience, and I can connect through my intuition. I was already somebody who was working in Reiki. I'm a Reiki master. I was teaching Reiki. I had a clinical practice where I was giving healings. I'm working with aromatherapy, Chinese medicine. There was so much already in my spiritual practice. So I leaned on my connection to spirit in the days and weeks after Sage's death. Like it felt like now when I kind of like trip back, I can see myself and I see myself almost like a living, breathing, walking ghost here on the earth. Because during the day, I would internally reach up to the divine, because I felt that if I could connect to spirit, I would be guided. I felt that if I connected to spirit, I would be closer to Sage. And When I connected to spirit, it hurt less. So I connected to spirit often. And I would wait out the waking hours until I could sleep, because that's when all of the pain went away. Earthbound, after Sage's death, I was held and supported by the death rituals. So we've got the memorial, the day Sage's body come home, then the day of the burial. There's these weeks that span out where I was anchored to the earth because I was waiting for this next ritual. I had something to literally walk towards. But after the burial, there was nothing in front of me. And it hurt the most. And so I would reach up to the divine. I spent a lot of time reaching out, asking for spirit to be with me. And when I would sleep and surrender my consciousness, my humanness, I would travel up to heaven. I had this repeated dream where I was in heaven. Sage was there were other people there, and it was joyous, it was free, and it wasn't painful. And I was so deeply pleased to be connected to Sage, to be with him again. So of course, in dream time, this is exactly where I would go. Now, I remember waking up and having memories of my dreams and being in heaven more than once. So I know I went there many, many times. And I didn't mind at all. I thought, this is perfect. I just have to make it through the day, and then I get to go and play with Sage up in heaven, up in the divine. And then one night I'm up in heaven, and we're all having our joyous, it's heaven after all time. And my friend Thomas arrives. Now, Thomas and I were deeply, intimately connected at the time of Sage's death. And so for him to turn up in my heaven, I was so pleased. And I reached my arms out towards Thomas to welcome him to heaven. And he grabbed my wrist and yanked me out of heaven. And I literally woke with a thud in the bed. And I woke cranky. It's like, Thomas, why would you do that? I was in heaven where it didn't hurt and I got to be with Sage. Why would you pull me out? I remember this morning, I remember sitting there and I was waiting for the appropriate hour where I could make the phone call and ask Thomas, why? Why would you do that? And Thomas, he's such a beautiful, good friend of mine. He's a gentle soul. So he softly said to me, Deborah, I didn't do it. It's your dream. You did it. And I was like, oh, he's right. He's right. I have yanked myself out of heaven. Why would I do that? Why would I do that? And so all day, why? I sought out the answer. Why? Why would I do that? All day. And the answer evaded me all day. Because what happens when we seek to find something? We just create a whole heap of tension around it and it doesn't arrive. So that night I'm sitting by the fire pit that's in my back garden, which I ended up most days in this chapter of my life. And I sit there and I I can't find why. I don't know why I would do that. Maybe I just need to let it go. Maybe I'll never know why. And my mind starts to unwind. My body starts to open and relax, and then it drops in. I hear a voice that is not my own, and I hear it clearly. You cannot stay forever in the divine. You are earthbound, and that is where your lessons lie. As that message descends, I feel myself coming fully back into my body, and I feel the pain, and I feel the knowing that this is the truth. I'm not yet back in spirit. I am still earthbound. I don't know why. Why do I have to stay and Sage gets to go? But here I am. I am earthbound, and this is where my lessons lie. After that night by the fire pit, I have never dreamed of being with heaven or with Sage in that way ever again. And I don't think I ever will, because I did hear the lesson. You cannot stay forever in the divine, for you're earthbound, and that is where your lessons lie. And so my big life loss towards big life magic journey, I think, truly began that day, because I became embodied. I grounded down into, okay, this is my path for now. And I think it's true for all of us. So this is what I wanted to explore with us today. What does this message mean for all of us? Because it has informed my work as a spiritual teacher, as somebody who's guiding people in understanding the divine and the connection to the universe, guides, angels. We connect to be inspired, informed, guided. This is why we reach towards the divine, not to be there, but to help us be here, earthbound. Because we've all hung out in the divine. You've had more than one life, and between those lives, you get to go and hang out up there with your soul family. You do some life review, tuning up of your soul, working with your soul family, and then you come back again, earthbound. And why do you come earthbound? Why do we choose to ground into the fullness of the earth element, which is a physical human body? We do that so we can learn lessons, which in turn help to evolve and expand our soul. So when we're working in our magic making, when we're working in developing our spiritual practice, we want to keep this balance in mind. You're learning about your intuition, not so you can get higher in spirit, but so that it can inform your earthbound experience. Earth is now. That's the other thing about this element. Earth is deeply steady. It will hold you. Like fire, air, water, they're on the move. We're going to talk about them in future seasons. But Earth is here now. Earth, I believe, is the element that really helps us to not only ground and come into ourself, into our earthbound self, into our heart space, into our lessons. It brings us into the now. And what happens in the now? The healing, the transformation, the magic that you are seeking happens in the now. Not back then, not up in heaven, not somewhere in your future, in the breath that you take now. This is how Earth can support us. This is how Earth can be like when people say, I feel like I need some grounding. I want to come back into my physical body. I want to come back into alignment with, what am I learning now? What's available to me right now? And this applies for all of your spiritual practice. So when I was thinking about this lesson, I thought, how else has this turned up for me? So before Sage died, I was also in my I love spiritual practice so much exploration. I had a chapter where I got into a deep dive into past lives. I did some past life regression. I read heaps of books. I found teachers. It was truly interesting and invigorating. And I learned so much about myself. But what I learned about myself through these past lives is what has happened in my past lives. So what use is that to us in our spiritual practice? When we see these past lives, what we're looking for is the patterns of what's turned up, because your whole soul has this beautiful long narrative. All of these lessons over lifetimes, over earthbound experiences. But the fact that a lesson was learned back in a past life, it doesn't mean that I am at service to going back to that past life and ruminating back there. What we want to do is we want to bring that lesson into the now. That's why you would do something like past life work. And it doesn't have to be about a past life. It could be about a past experience in this life. Someone who you're needing to forgive. If a part of your healing or transformation is a deep forgiveness of something that has happened to you in the past because of someone, the healing that you seek is in the now. And the earth element can help you with that. To bring it into, I am here now. The healing does not happen back there or in the future. It happens now. So let's all take this as the foundation for our earth season. Let's all take this as a foundation for your earthbound life. As we explore our spiritual practice, we are exploring this. We are learning and studying and developing so that we can inspire and inform our earthbound experience, not our spiritual being experience. Your spirit is fine, my friend. It's there, informing, inspiring, and deeply connected to you. But you are earthbound. And this is where your lessons lie. Which is why I work in this practical magic of the woo and the how-to. Because we want to take a woo. We want to take a lesson like, you cannot stay forever in the divine, for you are earthbound, and this is where your lessons lie. This is an inspired message I received from Spirit. It was crystal clear, my friends. And when I bring that into my earthbound me, my grounded me, my everyday magic, what it means is I started to turn up for my own healing. I didn't continue walking the earth like a breathing ghost. I began to feel my heartbreak. I began to explore what's possible in a grief journey. Like, imagine if I hadn't done that. Imagine if I had stayed forever in the divine. It'd be 10 years later and maybe I'm still walking around happy that every night I get to go to heaven, but my heart, my earthbound heart, would still be shattered. I would not know what I know now about heart repair. I would not have journeyed from big life loss to big life magic. Because the lessons aren't in the woo, they're in the how-to and in you, in earthbound you. That's why we need both. We want to be inspired by spirit and very real about the fact that we're human and we're earthbound, and this is where our lessons lie. You got to make it real, my friends. You got to make it real. And that's what the earth element is all about. Earth is going to be like, I'm going to tell you the truth. Here's where the foundation is. There's where your lessons are. Jump in there. That's earth. And earth is so much more than that. Earth is about our rituals. Earth is about how we actually walk through our earthbound experience. There's so much about earth that I am going to be sharing with you throughout this whole season. We're also learning about it in the Big Life Magic Makers. That's where we do this practical magic, and we're turning up for like magic class and understanding If I want to work with the earth element, what does that actually mean? And not only the woo, but we do the how-to. And for the rest of the season, I'm going to be exploring this with you also, because it's not only true for me, it's true for all of us. It's not our time yet to be in the divine. Not yet. We will all get to return to the divine, but we're not there now. We are earthbound and alive, and this is where our lessons lie. So I cannot wait to explore all of that with you through this season. You can let me know, is there anything about the earth element that you really want to know about? Because maybe I can weave it into one of our episodes. But let me tell you, next week for episode 2, we have a special guest, and this special guest will be coming through in spirit because they don't live anymore. They are up in the divine. I am going to be sharing our You Are the Magic space and live streaming with the beautiful, amazing, insightful, I've got a bit of a celebrity crush on, Albert Einstein. Now, Albert had a very important question that he believes all earthbound humans should be asking themselves. He believes it's the most important question that you can ask. And we're going to be asking that next week for episode 2. But right now, breathe it in. Feel the earth under your feet. You are earthbound. You are alive. You are here. And this is where your lessons lie. And we can learn together. Because that woo and that divine, there's so many things they want to teach us. And we're going to be open, available, and ready to tune in, grounded, and in the now. And what's also in the now? You, your breath, your magic. You are the magic. It's true. Now, every episode of You Are the Magic is dedicated, so I'm going to dedicate it to the many earthbound, amazing humans who kept me grounded in the first year and in the first years after Sage's death. For that healing journey had so many chapters in different parts of the world, and I was lucky to be supported and held by so many amazing humans. You know who you are. I thank you for being with me when at some times it was hard for me to be with myself. When I actually surrendered to being earthbound and tuning into the lessons that are available to me here, I found that I was not alone. It was my own journey, but I had amazing humans with me. And I dedicate this episode to all of those humans who held me earthbound so that I could learn my lessons, because do you know what? This is all paying forward, because everything I learned, I now teach. Our lessons are earthbound. Our divine is within us. And you know it. It's you, my friend. You are the magic, and you are earthbound, and ready to activate that magic all season long with me. Season 2 is now officially launched, and we have so much more coming up. Please stay connected to me and Big Life Magic. There's so many ways you can stay connected. I cannot wait to be with you again next week with me and Albert. But for now, ground in, connect to the earth, and believe it. It's you, my friend. You are the magic.